I'm going to invite you, if it already hasn't happened, to close down the other tabs, turn off the devices, and invite us all to arrive in the body and slow down into that. Just the nature, it just occurred to me how zoom, right? I actually want to unzoom us all to whatever extent we can connect with the felt sense. This is going to be a body-oriented practice today. If it's comfortable for you to free up the spine from whatever you're seated on, I'm going to encourage gentle movement. If you need whatever you need to do to take care of your body, please do so. But the music I invite us to start attuning to are the subtle sensations of the body. I'm going to give a brief textual orientation to this because we happen to be in one of my favorite sections of the Torah, of the Parshiot. But really the first text I want us to bring our awareness to are the felt sensations. I see some of you standing. I see others yawning or stretching. You got it. Movement is the medicine. Motion is lotion. So I really invite an increased awareness of the body. Now, why is this one of my favorite parts of the Torah? It's week after week of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle, of the description of the sacred architecture. And one of my favorite texts, I can share a link to it from on Open Siddur with you for later reference. But I'm going to screen share as well because I want to show you this text inside. But as I share, I really want to continue the movement, the body awareness. V'hakimota tamishkan kamishpato asher hareta bahar. Erect the tabernacle, the Divine One says, according to its plan which you were shown on the mountain. But what was shown to Moshe on the mountain? He was told, Asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocha. Make me a mikdash, a sanctuary, and I will dwell within it. But at that moment, the text says that Moshe was confused, astonished, bewildered. Master of the universe, what place could contain you? God said, don't overthink this, Moshe. Make me a sanctuary like the world is made. Interpret what you see in the world and so make the tabernacle. And this is the line that I love so much. And this is why the Mishkan domeh leolam ulgofo shel adam. The tabernacle resembles the world and the human body. So this long midrash from Midrash HaGadol continues in this threefold way to say, in the tabernacle, in the body, in the world, comparing the physical structure of the Mishkan to the physical structure of the human body to the natural world. And the first few paragraphs are all about the krashim, the planks. In the tabernacle, the planks are fixed into the sockets. In the body, the ribs are fixed into the vertebrae of the spine. And in the world, the mountains are fixed into the land. So really, as a somatic experience, bring awareness to your ribs. It may help for you to put your hands on them, to possibly rotate your torso. And if you're in a stiller, smaller kind of movement place, even with each and every breath, as you inhale, sensing how the lungs, which wrap around the body and into the spine, actually move the spine with each and every inhalation and exhalation. And if the movements are bigger for you, wherever, whether it's the ribs or other bones, other parts of the body, really inviting a sensual contact with whatever is true for you, pain or pleasure, heat, cool, stuckness, fluidity, just really attending to the inner weather. In the tabernacle, just as the planks are covered in gold, the body, those ribs are clothed in flesh, and the world's mountains are clothed in earth. So coming into touch with the skin and flesh, Maybe some loving touch. Maybe the hands can wake up the sensation of the golden covering of the body, flesh and blood. Or maybe if, as you look out into the world, you see the trees and the soil, maybe snow or mountains, and get inspired by the notion of living in the tabernacle of the earth and drawing some of that resource into the felt sense, the fixed mountains of the land under whatever your seat is, whether that's beneath your feet or your chair, bed, cushion. In the tabernacle, as the bolts and the planks stand them up, the body, the organs and tendons stretch and stand us up. Spacers, the muscles, tendons, sinews, spacing out the bones and the flesh of the sanctuary of the body. And even if it's small, even if it's movements of the jaw, the tongue, the neck, or even more subtle, the awareness of the breath or blood beating inside the body, allow yourself to be moved. We can think about the last 5 parshiot of Exodus where we are. We're about to read Ki Tisa, which talks about the golden calf, but 2 full parshiot before and 2 full parshiot after are like the walls of the Mishkan. And this week's parsha talks, we hear the 13 attributes, we hear about the tablets, and the warning not to make a fixed idol, a egel masecha, a molten image. So don't get too attached to a fixed sense of your sensations, but let them move and flow. And just as tapestry is spread out over the planks, the flesh is covered with skin as the heavens cover the earth. Really letting a felt sense of sanctuary be inside, around, and beyond the body. Tabernacle, world, and body. If your eyes are open, let them be soft to bring in all of the glorious colors of world. If your eyes have closed, notice that maybe visual stimuli is still there even for closed eyes, and let those sheish argaman techelet, the crimsons, the blues, the purples, and the shimmers of sensation like jewels in the body, whatever they may be, inviting a dynamic but easy, soft dance. There's so much to concern us about the world. There's so much worry and anxiety and conflict. And see Vishachanti betocham, if you can have a sense of that indwelling presence, not to disconnect from the outer world, but to make space for all we might be feeling, sensing, processing, knowing in our lives. Maybe take a hat tip from Job, Bivsari echezeh Eloha. In my flesh I find the divine. Or God is wherever we let God in. See if you can find God in the bone and blood of this moment. Luchot v'shivrei luchot menachim ba'aron, the shattered tablets and the whole tablets in the heart of the holy and holies. Just see, you can make space for all things, all sensations, as we sit in the sanctuary of the world and the body together. Himratz libecha shuv lamakom. If you find yourself lost in thought, return to the sensations of the Mishkan, of the body. B'sari echezeh Eloha, in my flesh I see God, seeking that divine connection and sensation. Allowing the Em Kol Chai, the mother of all life, to mother you in this moment. B'sari Eloha echezeh, B'sari Eloha echezeh, Da livne mita Da livne mita B'sari Eloha echezeh, B'sari Eloha echezeh, Da livne mita Da livne mita B'sari Eloha echezeh, B'sari Eloha echezeh, Da Sari Eloha V'chazeh.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Shir Meira, guiding us so beautifully today into this Mishkan of the body and the world. Friends, let's seal the beautiful practice today. For those of you who are in mourning, observing a yard site, if it's your custom to join in the mourner's Kaddish, we invite you to do so. If you're not reciting Kaddish, we ask you please stay present to support those who are. Put the name or names of those you're honoring today in the chat. And either now or after we recite Kaddish, thanks to Harry for sharing the words of the mourner's Kaddish on the screen. And if you're joining me, please rise in body or in spirit. You can unmute at this time. Yitkadal, Yitkadash,
Yamad Ibrahim
Chayechon, Uyomechon, Uhayev, Alfei Yisrael, V'Hagalah,
Alav Ismail Kareem
Yisru,
Yeshme Rabba
Yishmei
Mavorach
Rabba
Heshme Rabba
Mevorach,
Mevorach, Yelam Olamei Olamaya,
Barach,
V'Tamam
Rabba Mavarach,
V'Tov
Nam,
V'Taveh
Yaseh,
V'Tadash
Yitzhar,
V'Tadash
Yitzaveh,
V'Elam
Yitalash,
Arsh, Mandi is Nase,
Ela,
Viatar,
V'Rachta,
V'Nechamata
V'Rachta,
V'Miran
V'Rachta,
V'Amru Amen
V'Nechamata,
Yesh
V'Amiran,
Rabbi
Elam
Shemaya
Min Kol
V'Neinu V'Kol
Abishir,
Yisrael V'Imru
Yehesh,
Amen
Amavava
Shalom
Yisrael,
V'Mamah
V'Malenu
Man
Amen
Biyamai,
V'Yamah,
V'Kol Yisrael
V'Yamru Amen,
Yishmativeh
Hey Shlama
V'Matu
Rabba Nin
Amad,
Shamay,
V'Chai,
V'Chaim
Moshe,
Lenu V'Yakal
Aleinu
Yisrael,
V'Yakol
V'Yamru
Yisrael,
Amen,
V'Yakol Yosef
Oseh
Tzedakah,
Shalom B'Mramu, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'Yakal Yisrael, V'Yakal Yoshvei Tevel, V'Yamru Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Friends, thanks so much for joining us today. If you're leaving us now, wishing you sweetness, restoration on Shabbat in a time when we really need it. And if you're leaving us now again, I'll put in the chat another stellar lineup of leaders on the daily set next week that I just put in the chat, including my IJS colleagues, Rabbi Jordan Ben Appel and Sam Smith Monday and Tuesday, Rabbi Meira Neshama Niculescu on Wednesday, Mari Posa Duenas on Thursday, which, by the way, is the Daily Sit's 6th birthday. You're all invited. And Friday, a week from today, we'll close out the week with Rabbi Dorothy Richman. Want to note, by the way, that the following week, the whole IJS staff will be on retreat. And so we will be on a short hiatus, not next week, but the week following. And then we will return. So just make note of that. Of course, whenever we don't meet live, you're always invited to make use of recordings of any of these sessions, which are posted on our YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed to that, I encourage you to do so. Make use of the wonderful resources there, including our yoga studio with Cantor Lizzie Shamash. All the sessions led by Cantor Lizzie are also there. As always, thanks to Harry Gobala for holding this tech Mishkan faithfully, skillfully. And you're all invited to stay on to share your reflections with your experience with today's practice or to ask a question. If you have a question, please put it in the chat, write question, all in caps, and I'll try to work it into the conversation. You also can just continue to use this time and the container of our community to support you. If you'd like to turn off the sound on your device and just continue sitting, welcome to do so as well. I'm seeing a question from Fran. I'm not sure Fran, maybe you need to clarify that question. Could you repeat the 3 connections?
I
Not
think
sure.
it was the
Yeah.
connection between the Mishkan and the body
Oh,
and the
yes.
world. I
Yes.
think that's maybe
Okay.
what Fran is. And if
That is,
that's not it,
yes.
Fran, please let us know.
Okay. So, first of all, it's this was an extraordinary teaching, and your translation, that midrash, is really breathtaking, I would say, and wonderful. Um, and there are not that many people who would name this part of the Torah as their favorite. So I love that too. Um, For those who are not familiar, Shir, I wonder, and I don't want to put you on the spot here. We can do this collaboratively if you want, but I think a little quick orientation to the four worlds would be helpful for people, to understand, because we brought in the different elements, right? Which actually built beautifully on Sam Feinsmith's teaching yesterday,
Oh, wonderful.
about the four worlds. So we had a beautiful flow today. You feel
Sure.
comfortable doing that?
The four worlds of the Kabbalah, or the Daled Olamot, are known as, well, it's body, heart, mind, and soul is the simple English way of talking about it, but they're worlds in of themselves. So Asiya is the physical or manifest creation. Yetzirah is the emotional or affective universe. Bria is the imaginal, intuitive, or intellective world. And Atzilut is, it literally means nearness, closeness, adjacency to the union. And these are traditionally also mapped to the four elements of earth, water, air, and fire. Although you may know that some systems are five element systems, like Chinese five elements, and in the Kabbalah, more often three elements, fire, air, and water, are there. But if you do follow the link and look at this incredible midrash, it really is one of my favorite midrashim of all time. It continues to link, again, all of the sacred architecture we read about for 5 weeks with the human body and the natural world.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done, Rabbi. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just such a great reminder that we have in our tradition this understanding that when we use the English word spirituality, that encompasses all those different dimensions. And we often are stuck with this dichotomy, right, of the body and the spirit, right? And I think that's why I appreciated this teaching so much, maybe why you're so drawn to this, is to reject that dichotomy of the body and the spirit, and uh, really see, like you said, the word architecture, or the blueprint, to see the multiplicity of the dimensionality of spirituality, and to rest in it, and to see that as the divine present resting in the whole thing. And the culmination of the story of the Mishkan is really quite an amazing scene. Like when we get to the end of it, Exodus, it's always like really moving when, Moshe puts it all together, right?
Yeah.
And basically everyone was like plots, right? Like, wow. uh, God is in this place, and we didn't know it. So it's really so uplifting, especially in a time like this. So I'm going to ask you a little bit personally here too, just between you and me and the other 138 people here.
Chat as though no one's watching.
Yeah, right. Because this is the perennial question, especially these days, about remaining engaged in the world. And you referenced it, like all the stuff that's happening. And this, how do you integrate that? How does this practice, how does this teaching help you um, be, fully in the world, and to experience the Shekhinah, the divine presence, in the midst of it all? That's a big question.
Yeah. The first thing coming to me is that the Mishkan is temporary,
Mm-hmm.
as are our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
as is this world, or at least the world as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, We're in, generally speaking, a growth, ascendancy, and hope-oriented culture. But if we're really going to be shalem, included all, we have to be willing to face and feel the deconstruction, disorientation, and dark.
Mm-hmm.
I know behind my own eyelids, I still am like refreshing a lot of, pardon the phrase, war porn that sears itself into my consciousness. I was mentioning the phrase misinformation or disinformation overload. And for the most part, most of the time, we're living in a completely oversaturated external place. So to go to an internal place and actually recognize there's a similar intensity of saturation or fullness, like vishachanti betocham. There's as much, if not more, inside as there is outside. I remember, I love this story. She was about 4 or 5 years old. My youngest was sitting having breakfast. I was on the couch enjoying my coffee. She put down her spoon from her cereal and she said, "Abba, I'm so much bigger on the inside than I am on the outside."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's I think there's an imperative to embody the kind of capacity, calm, shlemut, peacefulness as possible. It's really hard to be in the world. It's also hard to be on your cushion with your own thoughts, with your own sensations, with these fragile and ever-changing bodies. So for me, one of my teachers, Will Johnson, calls these somatic koans. How do we sit with sensation as not separate from what's going on in the world? We can be so violent and extractive externally as we are internally. And so again, that's the beauty of the aesthetic and sensual. You could read these as shopping lists, or like, okay, how many bolts do we need? But if you realize there's an aliveness or divinity or vitality to these parts, and they're actually in an organic and dynamic whole, they become a sanctuary, a holy place.
Right. In using those two verses, was your intent there to kind of set that, what looks like something that's intention to kind of hold that? Like
Yeah,
that is
so
the first one. The first one is really like, the embodied, the inward, right? You're at the cereal bowl, there's so much more inside, the divine inside. And then the Da Lifnei Atah Omed, which is often inscribed above arcs in synagogues, no Buchdahl, which is meant to sort of instill this sense of awe at the transcendent, greater, mystical, beyond divine, right?
Yeah.
To hold both of those at the same time.
Yeah. No, well, thank you for you. So you gave context. That second verse, Dalif Me'ata Med, is often seen in fronts of synagogues, and it actually doesn't appear. It's based on an old Talmudic saying, "De'u lifnei atem omdim." Know collectively. It's about a kind of mindset or orientation for the standing prayer, and it does kind of generally is interpreted in a dualistic external stand with reverence before the external king, right? That's a traditional understanding.
God is watching.
God is watching. God is watching you. And then the context for the Job text is he's just had absolutely everything ripped away, total disorientation, and all he's left with is friends with bad advice. The line before is basically, even if my flesh were to be ripped apart, I would still see God in my flesh. There's a total dark night of the soul happening here, that it's God all the way down, even in the dark night of the soul, the destruction, the disintegration, the disorientation. So I have a very Hasidic, Kabbalistic read on Da Lifnei. Da is intimacy. Yidiyah is the deepest form of knowing. And me is one of God, the name for goddess. I don't even remember how it came out of my mouth, but like, oh, Em Kol Chai, let the mother of all life nourish or meet or reach you. And I'm singing these beautiful open major kind of Western chords for these verses of, I don't know what to do in the face of times like these are trying times. We've run out of adjectives. We run out of filters. And these, I'm just sharing my practice. This is how I honestly stand up and show up to the world right now.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Really
Yeah.
appreciate that. Ilan notes that line from Job, that the verb translated to see, echazeh, is usually connected with prophetic vision. It's sort of like gaze, right? It's got,
Yeah.
right? It's vision, right? It's not just, ra'ah,
It's not
see.
lirot or histakel, right? It's
Right. And
chazon.
he comments that it's powerful to combine that with the Dalif name, Miyata Omed, know before whom you stand. And I actually would love, I mean, that was so beautiful. And I think it would be a gift if we could close out with one more round
Sure.
of the song in a second. But Harris offers kind of a way of, I guess, synthesizing those two verses, saying, given this midrash, would it be accurate to say, know that within which you exist, parallel to know before whom you stand, which is basically to sort of like integrate both the body awareness and the inwardness of the divine and the externalness and this sort of sense of subsisting, living within this greater, I live in this Mishkan, and this it's like like Russian dolls, right? I'm in this
Yeah.
Mishkan. That Mishkan's within a larger Mishkan. That one's
Yes.
within a larger Mishkan, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
It's me. It's Matrushka dolls all the way down.
But yeah, thank you for that correction too.
Did I? Oh, I
All
don't
right.
know. I don't know if I was correcting you. Oh, you
Well,
called them something else? Okay.
I call them Russian dolls. What do I know? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just
Okay. All
repeating
right.
what I've
Well,
heard.
thank you for letting this wash over us too. And I hope everyone can bring this beautiful, beautiful intention, beautiful words, beautiful music into Shabbat.
Bivsari Eloha Yechazer Bivsari Eloha Yechazer Ta lifnei mita omer Ta lifnei mita omer Bivsari Eloha Yechazer Bivsari Eloha Yechazer Ta lifnei mita omer Ta lifnei mita
Thank you, my friend. Thanks to Rabbi Shir, Meira, Feit, for bringing us so beautifully together into Shabbat this week.
Shabbat shalom.
Friends, thanks. Shabbat shalom to all. Thanks, Harry. Thanks each of you for being here. Look forward to seeing you again on Monday. And again, Shabbat shalom to all. Sweet Shabbat.
Shabbat